What's going on, everybody? We are back in the Layup Lounge. My name is Roman. I'm here with my guy Wayne.
What's going on, brother? Today, I'm hanging in there, man.
Man, shout out to all the new members out there. Shout out to everybody liking, subscribing, commenting, all platforms. Yeah, hey, shout out T-Mac.
Shout out T-Mac,
man. Hey,
you never know who you're gonna see in the LL comments, man. You never know who you're gonna bump into. So
real people are popping out for sure. But man, let's get right to it. We're here after game one of the Magic versus Cavs. We see that the Cavs take the W. Donovan Mitchell was, when it came down to the clutch, Magic were, it was neck and neck for most of the game. And then Donovan Mitchell just explodes. Just talk about what you saw out there. Who do you got in this series?
I still want to roll with the Magic, and I think 6 or 7 games. It looked like the Magic's first playoff game.
Sure.
We know it was like they're a very young team going into today's game. It's a lot of their guys' first playoff experience, their first time playing playoff basketball. That's where the Cavs got some vets. And even this offseason went and picked up Max Strus and Georges Niang, some more vets to kind of just boost their playoff capabilities and just like that toughness of the roster. And we kind of saw that come out today a little bit. I mean, Georges Niang, he was kind of bringing out the attitude. He was kind of being the enforcer for the Cavs, it felt like. And, I mean, he was the only one on their team sort of doing that other than Isaac Okoro, who went out with an injury. But it feels like their intensity was just a little bit higher than the Magic's. And so coming into game 2, I feel like the Magic are going to settle things down a little bit, get back to playing their game. They only scored like 80 points, and so that's not the team we're accustomed to. So get back to playing their sort of game. P5 get into an early rhythm again. It seems like he was kind of just not on like his usual business today. But I feel like I still got the Magic. I still want to see the Magic move on. It's going to be a good series, though. Cavs played them tough.
Yeah, what I was watching was a Cavs team that has something to play for. This is the Magic's first time being in an environment like this in a very long time. The Cavs, lots of storylines. Is Garland going to be there next year? Is Donovan Mitchell going to be there next year? Is this team going to flip if they don't have a successful playoff run? And so you see a team that is hungry to, surpass those headlines and kind of go as far as they can. Orlando, but at the same time, Orlando, it feels like it was one of those, feel games, those feel, like trying to see I don't know, how they're attacking their players, kind of see what they're running. I think that they're going to be ready and geared up for game 2. Although I'm going to say I think that game 2 is a must-win for the Magic. I think that if they can get one of these, if they can get this next game, I think that would be great momentum going down to Orlando, and I'm sure Orlando's ready to turn up down there. It's going on right now. Minnesota's up at halftime. I forgot what the score was, but talk about what kind of matchups you think that are key in this series. Talk about who you got in this series. Yeah.
From what we've been seeing so far, I think the key matchup is Jaden McDaniels on Devin Booker. I feel like if Jaden can actually be like a force and neutralize Devin Booker, and who's trying to be their number 1 or number 2 scoring option, it's going to be a tough series for the Suns because outside of him, they don't really have that many scoring threats. Kevin Durant's going to get his points regardless. That's just KD. And we've kind of seen that so far in the first half. There's no real answer. But Jaden has been kind of helped. He's been able to pester Devin Booker, block a couple of his shots, kind of getting in between his ears a little bit, getting under his skin, which is always good. And then just the way this Minnesota team is built. They're deep, they're tall, they have dudes, and they're led by Ant-Man, who's he's a dog. He's a number 1. He's establishing himself as one of those dudes. He's debuting the Ant-Man lows today. Fire. So I'm really excited for this Minnesota team. I got this Minnesota team winning this series in, I think, 5 games. I feel like they're going to make easy work of the Phoenix Suns. And if Phoenix even wants a chance, they have to win at least one of these games in Minnesota, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, before I talk about this team, I want to just emphasize the fact that I got the Magic in 6. But moving on to this series, I do have the Minnesota Timberwolves winning this. I think they do win this in 6 as well. I think Minnesota's ready. I think that they're being slept on. I saw just like the betting odds and things like that. The Suns are favored to win this series despite being the 6th seed. And I think that's ridiculous. I think that's disrespectful to Minnesota and what they've built over there. Like you said, Ant-Man, he's hooping. I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to be very important in this series, though. Can he get Nurkic in foul trouble? Can he get whoever he's on? And then he has to utilize those mismatches that he gets. We saw him a couple times being guarded by Bradley Beal. Most of the time when he gets guarded like that, there's going to be another body that's being sent his way. So it's going to be his job. He's going to utilize the offense. He's going to facilitate the offense, and it's going to come down to when he gets the ball, can he thrive with it? But yeah, I got Minnesota in 6, and regardless of what happens in this game 1. But
I feel like Ant-Man's ready to take that leap. I
Yeah.
feel like he's kind of, this is the year that we've been waiting for. Baby Jordan, whatever we wanted to call him, the baby mama drama.
we just almost saw the greatest basketball play of all time, just game 1.
For real, he's trying to make profound like highlight plays. Like,
crazy.
We're gonna see another one of those plays in this playoffs where it's just like, man, his playoff or his entire season highlight role from 23-24 is legendary.
Out in the Western Conference, I think one of the most highly anticipated series is Denver versus the Lakers. LeBron, AD, and those boys are coming off a win against the Pelicans. Denver's been chilling, just waiting who they're going to be playing against. There's a lot of chatter. Obviously, Mike Malone in his relationship with the Lakers is, they like this. There's a lot of talking going on. We hear from the Lakers side that they're pretty much giving Denver their respect. They don't want to speak on that too soon. They're probably waiting to win before they talk all the trash. But just talk about that series. Who do you got? Who are the X factors in these series? And honestly, what is it going to take for the Lakers to win this series? Because I think that Denver should be heavily favored in this season, rightfully so.
I mean, they're the defending champs. So, I mean, any defending champ is always going to have like a chip on their shoulder going into the playoffs. But they're also the defending champs who have pretty much dominated the Lakers as well this entire year, the series last year. They have the Lakers number. I feel like for the Lakers, this is a do or die. This is a do or die series right here. Like, this is a must-win series. I mean, because this has been the roadblock for them.
What's going to happen? What happens if they don't win this series?
Something has to change. I don't know. Whether we offload the supporting cast, whether we look to trade AD, whether we look to trade LeBron. If we lose this series, something has to change, though, because the Nuggets are the true roadblock. We got to the Western Conference Finals, ran into them last year. Cool, we got swept up.
I think that
we meet them again this year. If we have to conquer this hill. If not, we're crazy. We can't run it back with the same roster and lose to them a third year in a row. Something has to change.
Is Darvin Ham's job on the line?
Oh, 100%. Darvin Ham's head is on a stake if they lose this game. I feel like a major X factor in this series, though, I'm looking at D'Angelo Russell. I feel like he has to come into and be that true number 3. Everyone kind of wants Austin Reeves or like who's that number 3 on the team. It has to be D'Angelo Russell.
I agree.
I feel like him and Austin Reeves can kind of share that load a little bit. Pause. But they can be that third guy, that third and fourth guy to like truly carry these Lakers past the Nuggets. And I feel like it's realistic. You have LeBron, he's healthy, he has his wind. AD, he's been healthy, played 76 games this year. I feel like the table's set. If like the Lakers wanted to do it, the time is now. On the other side of it, though, you have the defending champs coming in. They're healthy. They're rolling. They're very familiar with this team. They don't like this team at all. Like, you can tell it's kind of personal. Even when they won the series last year, they started mouthing off how like everybody was just talking about the Lakers, like only talking about the Lakers in their offseason when they won. Like, so they're kind of beefy about that, always mad. So they're going to come into the series with a chip on their shoulder, still thinking that they're not getting talked about enough because they aren't. And so that's how it's set. The table's set. We're in for a good series. Give me the Lakers in 7, though. Give me the Lakes in 7. King James, solidify that resume. Let's go. 40,000 of them. 40,000 big ones.
I didn't know we were disagreeing on this matter. I actually got Denver. I got Denver at the very, very most. If things are down bad with Denver, it goes 6 games and Denver still takes it. I think what they just have, like you said, Denver has their number, and I don't think that nothing has changed. These are pretty much the exact same rosters that we're seeing. I think the only difference is there's no Bruce Brown, but we see Christian Brown. I think it's Christian Brown, right? Christian Brown? Brown. Yeah, you see him, Najee. You see Payne Watson more than Najee, but Payne Watson, like those dudes have been stepping up as of late.
For sure.
And then you look at the Lakers, again, same roster. We don't know where we're getting from D'Lo. I agree with you though. If the Lakers win, it's because D'Lo was averaging 20, consistent 20. It wasn't like a 25 here, 15. Like it's a consistent 20, 22 a game. Like they're gonna have to. They need that for sure.
Is that outlandish to ask? Not at all.
It shouldn't be, but when it's playoffs, it's like he knows it's playoffs, and we get cold feet in the playoffs when we're D'Lo. He said ice in his veins, there's ice in his feet. Okay, so that's what it looks like. when he gets there. So we just gotta hope gotta hope that he hoops. And then honestly, I'm gonna take it from. I feel like no one's thinking about this too. I think that Rui minutes are very important as well, especially the minutes that AD is not on the floor. I mean, we're not going to see Jackson Hayes. We're not going to see what are the biggest on that team. I can't even think about it. We're not going to see Cam Reddish. We're not going to see Taurean Prince. Oh, no, Rui is absolutely important. He might be the most important. He might be the X factor of this series because there's no Vando to guard, the bigs. And that is a top tier defender right there. But anyways, now that we're looking at OKC and Pelicans, I'm gonna just start off by saying I know I have high expectations for the OKC Thunder. But at the end of the day, they are a young team. I am scared. I'm gonna take OKC in 6. I'm gonna say OKC in 5 if they don't have Zion. If Zion somehow plays, I'm gonna still say 6. But man, they could be upset. I won't even lie. Talk about it real quick.
I'm looking at this series as one of the major upset alert series. Like we said, we've kind of been comparing the Orlando Magic and like the Thunder as like parallels in the East and West. Same thing's gonna happen. They're gonna get bright eyes once the lights were too bright. What did my man Jared Allen say?
Yeah.
The lights were too bright. That's what the Thunder are gonna be saying once the playoffs start. So I'm not really worried about none of this number 1 seed or anything because if Zion plays, there's no answer for any of that. And like there was no answer for the Lakers. The Lakers were probably bounced up out of there, or at least playing for their lives if Zion was playing.
Yeah.
So the fact that if Zion comes back, I got the Pels in 6. If Zion's out though, I don't know if this Pelicans team is geared up enough. Just because he's always been the focal point of like, man, if we got Zion, if we got Zion, we'd be good.
No, he has to play game 1. It's gonna be more of that saying. He has to play game 1 though. I think if he comes back at any point, I think it's gonna be too late. Like,
I agree.
Maybe game 2. I think that's the latest he can come back. If he doesn't come back by game 2, I wouldn't even risk it
as well.
If they were full strength, I would say that is one of the series that could be upset alert. But then we got to think about this. OKC has the MVP. To me, I mean, I think it's gonna happen.
The favorite,
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's been in the playoff trenches before. I mean, he was with Chris Paul for a year. I think he's had that experience. You know what it's like to compete at a high level. Clippers. Yeah, even he was a top 3 player on that team. He might have even been number 2 because he was playing with Patrick Beverly. He was playing on a team where Lou Williams was like pretty much the best player on that team. Right, number 1 option, Lou Will, and he was a rookie. So he's played real comp. Like he's been in the playoffs. He knows what it's like. I know I feel like we forget about that. We forgot he was in the Clipper uniform. So I just think that there's experience. There's a little bit of experience there. I mean, they're gonna be a good team with Chet. I feel like he's working Jonas Valanciunas for sure. Jalen Williams, I think, is going to be the main difference. Whoever that matchup is, if he can win his matchup, I think it should be an easy time for them. I think it's going to be him versus Trey Murphy pretty much, or Herb Jones. It's probably going to interchange. Josh Giddey's going to have to make open jump shots. Isaiah Joe's going to have to make his jump shots like he usually do. And then the minutes when Chet's not on the floor. I'm not even worried about the guards. They got good guards, but it's going to come down to we got to win those minutes when Chet's not on the floor. I think that will be a key factor in the series as well.
You could say that the Pelicans have a much better supporting cast than the Thunder. Outside of like the top 2 dudes, I'd say that the Pelicans have a better supporting cast when it comes to your Najee Marshall, your Jose Alvarado, your Larry Nance, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. Those are outside of your like the top 2 dudes. Like,
are we calling CJ McCollum a core dude on that team at this point?
Okay, but even if he's not, CJ McCollum, you see what I'm saying? Like you could Zion and then B.I. are your top 2 on that team.
I love CJ McCollum.
Zion and B.I. are your top 2. Everyone else is like they're more so role dudes at that point.
I love CJ McCollum. Blazer legend. But dude, if they lost last night, it was probably because of him. He only had 7 points last night. I'm real familiar with his game. Okay,
at this point he's a good supporting cast, dude. That's what I'm saying.
But he's not even. He can't be the second.
He's making up your supporting. He's not. But if you got Zion, Bi, and then the rest of your supporting cast is those dudes I just named, CJ McCollum. That's better than.
Got to be there because now CJ's number 2.
Facts. Zion has to be there.
Zion has, and CJ McCollum is he's really a 4. If we're being honest, if we're being real, he's a 4 at this point of his career. This is too much on him. You know what I'm saying?
Trey Murphy gets the nod above him.
Like, he hasn't been good in the playoffs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he hasn't been good in the playoffs since Denver in 2019.
And he stepped out of bounds.
That was 5 years ago. Well, no, 2019 is when they won. And then the one with when Dame scored that 55,
That's when he stepped out.
that's when he stepped out of bounds. and now, yeah. And it's like, I was seeing on Twitter, like, when he had a stinker against the Lakers, he was like, Dame was in the trenches going to war with this dude as his number 2. Put respect on Damian Lillard's name, man. I mean, CJ ain't no bum, but there's games where he has looked like one. Absolutely. And so, yeah, him being in the top 3 option on that team is disastrous, in my opinion. I think that it's either gonna go like
Disastrous?
It's disastrous. It's disastrous. I think that if Zion's there, it's gonna go 7, and that's a coin toss. Or if Zion's not there, they gonna get beat in 5. So there's that. We already talked about Dallas and Clippers. We already talked about them. I got Mavs in 6. You got Mavs.
I got Mavs in 5 to 6. I got Mavs in 6. I'll give the Clips another one. I got Mavs in 6.
Got Mavs in 6. What other series do we have in the West?
To the East now. That's everybody in the West.
That's everybody in the West.
4 series.
Oh, dang. Well, we're going right to the East. We can knock this one out the way real quick. Knicks versus the Sixers. I have the Sixers winning this one. I have the Sixers winning in 7. I think if Nicholas Batum plays like the GOAT, I think that there's a great shot. There's a great chance. Buddy Hield in the Sixers uniform is more than just a shooter. He's getting to the basket. He's getting to the cup. Joel Embiid, as long as he's 80%, I think that he's solid. He's there. He's better than everybody in New York combined. You know what I'm saying? If
anyone's going to beat this team, though, if anyone's lined up to match up against Joel Embiid, it's the Knicks, though. They got Hartenstein. They got Mitch. They got a bunch of.
They're gonna really have to.
They got different defenders that can help. They got Achua. They got big bodies. You know what I'm saying?
I pray that Joel Embiid stays healthy the whole time. But they might I'm not gonna say they're gonna hurt him. They're gonna rough him up though, and it's gonna really take Joel Embiid being out the game. Out for them to win, in my opinion.
So you see my vision. So with that being said, I got the Knicks. I got the Knicks in 6 because I'm worried about. Not only am I worried about Joel Embiid's usage, I'm worried about his health, bro. I still feel like he's not all the way together. Like he's wincing in pain.
What percentage?
He's checking his knee.
Where's he at right now?
Joel is like a 70%, bro. He's not healthy at all. And
he's winded.
He's winded. He doesn't have his wind. The fact that we always are questioning his health, his well-being, his conditioning, although he just came back from being injured, his conditioning.
And where's Robert Covington? Where's he at?
Deep in the bench. He's deep.
Is he healthy?
I don't know.
Does he wear the warm-up?
There's a reason also why the Blue Bucks can made that talking about why is Batum in. That was a fluke.
That was not a fluke. He's a Blazer legend.
Do that again.
No, he's been in the Blazer uniform. He's clutch.
Okay, that was a decade ago.
Bro, you see that tip in? You didn't see the tip? That was insane.
That was crazy.
No, that was insane.
Even the block was crazy too. That's never happening
but
again.
Look, if they're on their A game, if they're playing the way they did, they can beat the Knicks. I think the Knicks are vulnerable right now just because I feel like if you hone in on Jalen Brunson, let somebody else beat me. I think that has to be the mentality of the 76ers. Let somebody else let him beat me. Josh Hart, let him beat me. Honestly, if we lose because they're hitting shots and things like that, I'm living.
Deuce McBride?
I'm living. That's what I'm saying. Who even is that? I'm living. I'm living. So it's at the end of, what's his real name? Is that his real name?
I think it's his real name.
I don't know. That sounds like a nickname, but I got the Sixers in 7, and it's good. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a better series than we even think. Moving on though, we got the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. Again, this has been a tradition ever since the LeBron days. They've been going at it. Jimmy Butler, I'm going to just say real quick, Boston in 4. Jimmy Butler's out. Maybe 5. Maybe. Tyler Hero gives you a near triple-double like he did against the Bulls. And it's the Bulls at the end of the day. But if he does that, maybe they can get a game. I got Celtics in 5. We're not playing with our food this time. We going to kill them early. You got to punch them in the mouth early. Jimmy Butler, he doesn't come back in this series. He's not going to be there unless he wants to hobble on one leg. I'll respect it. If he wants to pull Blake Griffin, sure. But it's not worth it to me.
It's MCL, right?
MCL, yeah. And we have also saw the last of Jimmy Butler. I think he gets traded at the end of this year.
Man.
Because they need somebody to fit Bam's timeline. I think that's just what it is. All right there. I think the most anticipated series, just because, again, there's a lot of storylines within this one. The Bucks versus the Indiana Pacers. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty scared about this series just because no Giannis. I think, again, we talked about it a little bit before. This is Dame's time to really prove that he's one of those dudes. I think it's a perfect situation with him in terms of he knows he's going to get the ball a lot. We've seen how ball dominant he was in Portland in the playoffs. He was killing. Mm-hmm. But he's been looking not so much like himself, obviously off-court issues, but at the end of the day, I think this is a solid situation for him, like individually, but it's going to come down to the others. I'm going to say Bucks in 6, but this might even be more of an upset alert than the OKC Pelicans. This might be the most likely to go down as an upset because Indiana was weren't they like top 3, top 4 all season pretty much before, and then after the All-Star break, they started dropping. But this is really a top 3 team, top 4 team in the East, if we're really thinking about it, talking about the Pacers. I mean, they've had to acclimate Siakam in the mix, but I think that they have a real good shot at beating the Bucks. But I'm loyal to the soil. I'm going Bucks in 6.
I gotta disagree with you, brother. I feel like
I don't blame you. Honestly, I don't blame you.
I feel like we're
I don't blame you. I'm scared. I'm saying
this.
this unconfidently, by the way.
Giannis is hurt. Giannis not playing really affects his team a lot. You said it best. This is almost now like Damian Lillard had it in Portland. He's out there by himself, pretty much.
This might be a worse setup, bro.
I'm looking at
this might be a worse setup.
It's not looking
even
good.
Then he had Melo, Norman Powell, Nurk, CJ. He had a solid Robert Covington.
A little bit of help.
Like he had some dudes. Like now who's he running with?
Splash
Jay Crowder,
Mountain.
right? Brooks,
Splash Mountain, Jay,
Brook Lopez. Yeah, Jay Crowder, Pat Covington.
Yep.
Marjon, if he gets minutes, probably not. But Marjon, AJ Green, Andre Davis,
Bobby.
Like Andre Jackson. Andre Jackson? I said Andre.
Andre Jackson, yeah. He not getting no tick.
Andre Jackson.
Bobby
Portis. Like, this is a similar setup that he had in Portland before, you know. And speaking of like playoff performances, what's the best playoff performance you've seen, whether it was in person or like on TV? Like, what's the best playoff performance you've ever seen? Because I'll go first. I mean, it's got to be the Dame 55. It's got to be the Dame 55. That's the greatest playoff performance I've ever seen from an individual. Probably ever. More than LeBron, more than Steph. He was killing those boys. He had Austin Rivers praying that he missed.
Praying
he was
to a higher power.
He was thanking God when he finally missed. He was trading baskets by himself. And then none of his teammates wanted to go with him. I'm still hurt from that game. I think about every time playoffs come around, I think about that one game every single time. Because even if they lost the series, I feel like that game would have meant more if they just won that game. And the fact that he did that is similar to when, AD scored 40 against Denver in the Western, and you knew it was over from that point. Dame did everything he could, and he was step back threes, going to the basket, shoot from half court, lucky bank shots. Like it was the greatest thing I ever seen, and I was yelling at the TV. I was with moms. It was ridiculous, and I remember when CJ stepped out of bounds. I can't even. Go ahead. Yeah.
But initially, when you asked the question, I started thinking about Steph, KD. Like those, I've seen some like amazing performances. None of them outdoes what LeBron James did in Game 1 of the Finals in 2018. 2018. Yep. 2018 against the Golden State Warriors. Game 1. 50-point triple-double, was it?
It's like 51, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did everything. That was the greatest single individual performance I've ever seen on the basketball court that I've witnessed. I was watching that. He was scoring. He was playing defense. He was rebounding. He was creating on offense. He was coaching. There was nothing he didn't do for the Cavs team that game. And then J.R. Smith sold him out.
Whoa. And then George Hill sold him out. You saw his face at the free throw line?
Okay, but no.
If he makes the free throw, we're not talking about nothing.
J.R. Smith, though. Are we for like you?
Okay, but like,
come on.
Do you think that there was a chance that they win that? Like, gave that team a little bit of hope if they were to win that Game 1? Like, was there a chance?
Yes,
even?
Because then even if you go to Game 2, you lose. Cool. We go back to Cleveland and it's 1-1.
Is Jokic a top 10 player of all time if he gets an MVP, another Finals MVP, and then he wins a championship?
He's not top 10, but he'll be encroaching on top 10. I mean, we got to take a look at the list. But at that point, he'd be a 2-time MVP, 2-time champ, one of the greatest centers of all time, undoubtedly.
What are you talking about? He might be the great. He's better than Shaq.
Arguable. It's very arguable.
Is it?
Yes, because Jokic couldn't guard Shaq. Shaq couldn't
I don't
guard.
think Shaq could guard Jokic either.
Okay, but
that's for different reasons.
They're dominant
though.
in different reasons, exactly.
Because he's just gonna back him in.
And there's no answer. Jokic couldn't stop that at all.
Because, but Shaq is not guarding the perimeter.
No.
Maybe Orlando Shaq before he got big. Maybe.
But there's no world where Jokic can guard Shaq at all. That's just because he's a force of nature.
He's a big body himself. Not that big, but you know.
They used to draft dudes like Jokic just to guard Shaq. They said, we need, you can't hoop that well, but you just got a big body. We need you to go stand in front of Shaq. And Shaq used to put all of them in the hoop.
Like,
one by one.
Like, is it crazy to say he's the most skilled big man we've seen? I mean,
he is the most skilled big man ever. I mean, he's
at
more
least
skilled
center.
than Hakeem.
You think?
Because that's the only competition, bro. Like when people
He's
really
more skilled than Hakeem?
Yes. And I don't think that's even really, is that really that wild to say? I mean, there's no weaknesses to Jokic's offensive game at all. He's a better distributor. He's he's a better 3-point shooter, undoubtedly, 40% from three. And then low post, although that's not his game, Jokic has every move in the book. He got literally every move in the book, like low post.
The greatest passer from a center ever.
Undoubtedly the greatest passer. He's one of the greatest. He's already one of the greatest passers of all time. However it shakes out. If he retired today, he'd be regarded as a top 5 passer.
And but he's better than Shaq. He's better than, they're like, is he better than Wilt? I can't even say if he's better than Wilt, just so I didn't see him play. I'm going to assume so. I'm going to assume so. Like,
He's really good on the.
Rest in peace, Bill Russell, but come on.
Yeah. You need defenders around Jokic, though. That's the one thing. Defensively, you're not getting much. For out of my center, I would like a little bit of, defensive mindedness. Give me some blocks. Give me some rim protection. Be able to, like, play the pick and roll a little bit. Jokic is kind of, he's not bad on defense, but he's almost just more so of an object to get around.
And then his teammate. We got to talk about his teammate real quick. And I'm just asking, if they win a chip, is Jamal Murray a Hall of Famer? And doesn't even it depend. I think it depends on the chip. But is Jamal Murray, if they win a championship, is Jamal Murray a Hall of Famer?
I think at that point it just depends on longevity. I mean, if he were to stack a couple more years under his belt at his current production rate, and then retire with 2 championships under your belt, and you've been averaging.
So he still won't be a lock even if they win the championship.
I think he has to do a little bit more work, but eventually he'd get no. He's not a lock if they win this year. He still has to put in a little bit more work to become a lock for the Hall of Fame. What do you think?
Yeah, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. I don't think. I mean, he has no individual awards whatsoever.
But give him 5 more years after if they win the championship this year. Give him 5 to 7 more years, averaging 20 plus. Jamal Murray's Hall of Fame, bro. You'd be like, bro, he held it down for the Nuggets for a decade plus, 2-time champ, maybe 3-time champ by then.
Is he better than Drew Holiday?
They're in the same realm. They're for sure in the same realm.
Is he better than Drew Holiday?
They'd for sure be in the same realm.
Episode 23. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about us, yo. You know what I'm saying? We making moves. Hey, Instagram, follow us. Layup.lounge, right? Layup.lounge?
Layup.lounge.
At Layup.lounge. You gonna see the 2 LLs beside each other. Layup Lounge. Man, shout out to all the supporters, man. We going up.
Like and subscribe. Do your due diligence.
Do your due diligence. We almost a 500. 150 away. We're really almost a 400, but we getting there.
Come on.
Yeah. Milwaukee Bucks, NBA champions. Damian Lillard, Finals MVP.
Zach Edey and Bronny James, first round picks.
Oh, that's nasty work.
DJ Burns.